So yeah, I got reconnected or disconnected for a little bit. But I was just about to share. Oh, is that the moon? That's the moon right above my head right there. But I was sharing that I got some really good advice, business advice from a friend of mine yesterday. Her name is Ebony. She's a healer, a shaman out in shoot, right now in Mexico. Travels, extensively. Right now on a break from doing her work and taking a vacation, but she took the time to look at my website and give me some very, very valuable uh, feedback. And the website I'm referring to is menheal.org. That is my nonprofit organization that I've had here on Maui since 2022 is when I officially launched the nonprofit. But I've been doing that work. I've had that doing the services and the work of that nonprofit for over 20 years. Um, some during jobs where I was getting paid to do it, and some just mostly voluntarily. And so that's just been my life is helping men heal, helping all individuals heal. But lately, let's see, since 20, I want to say since 2019, 2020 is when I really streamlined my focus to helping men heal because that's when I went through my crucible. That's when I went through my journey of divorce and depression, being 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 a statistic. One of those black fathers who's not in the home raising his black son. I became one of those individuals who was deemed as the least among those. Um, Married to a white woman. So now we have a black man again with another white woman. What is this world coming to? Like that's been my experience. There was no celebration of just love and humanity. It had to be curtailed into a certain specific branch and a specific seasoning of love. And that's been my experience, man. And I just it took me to depression, to burnout, to overwhelmment, and to stay on the positive note, just to get to feedback that I was given. Ebony, she just suggested that I just begin to tell my story and slow it down a little bit for most because it was a fast life. It happened so quickly. I mean, we're talking 3 divorces. We're talking homelessness. At least collectively, probably about almost 3 years of homelessness that I've had in my life and my journey this last phase. So collectively, almost 3 years. It was some time in LA, some time in Atlanta, and some time here on Maui. And each time those experiences that I've had with being homeless, it was a learning lesson. There was something that I gained from the experience, and every experience had something to do with me making decisions and choices out of anxiety, out of pain, out of survival mode. I was never able to make a choice, like a choice that I was proud of from a calm nervous system. I was never able to make a choice from a calm nervous system. It wasn't modeled to me. So to me, men, the only way to resolve my problems was through violence, was through aggression. So there was no real way. I guess there was no way about calming your nervous system how I grew up. So I had to learn how to do that. I had to experience. And I know that about myself is that I learn my lessons when I experience them. I mean, I love people telling me, I love people trying to teach me, but my best teacher is experience. And that's always been the way I've led and taught is through experience. So I help guide people with their experience. And especially men, I help guide men through this life experience having a calm nervous system, That's just what I thought. That's just what came up for me today because kept thinking about this question. She was asking about like, well, what is it that you do? How exactly do you help men heal? And then I'm just like, it's such a personal healing. Like, it's not so much me helping them. I guess if there's help, the help is demonstrating and modeling to men that you can go through life and be very successful with a calm nervous system. It doesn't have to be the high anxiety and the struggle and the hustle that comes with that. Like that almost, I mean, it did. It took away my life, you know, being on this path of following. That's what it is. It was exhausting for me to be on that path of following the path of the way things have always been. I couldn't really do that anymore. You know, I had to slow down enough to find myself and to find my program that works for me, you know. And for me, that's been a calm nervous system. Look at this. Earlier, I started out with just spending 5 minutes next to the ocean, just spending 5 minutes next to the ocean in silence or singing a song, whatever it is I feel like doing, stretching. Lately, I've been doing my 25 push ups every morning. So I got my brother Ian who holds me accountable. I text him every morning, say, hey, man, I just busted out my 25 push ups for the morning. And then I text him again when I do the evening 25 push ups. And right now we're reading Proverbs. So every day of the month, there's one chapter of Proverbs that we'll read. And so he's been doing that. I've done that several times in my life, but I encouraged him to do that, and I'm holding him accountable with that, and he's holding me accountable with the push-ups. But long story short, and this is already 11 minutes. I told myself I was only going to do 10 minutes on live today, but I just really wanted to bring clarity. I just wanted to bring clarity to what it is that Men Heal is all about. And you guys are going to start seeing this very soon. You're going to start seeing a representation of men who are moving in the world with calm nervous systems, who are I call us divine masculines. Divine masculine is a man who is like completely secure in his masculine and feminine energy. That means I can work hard and bust my ass doing the work, but then I can also be soft enough within myself to care for myself and to care for my woman, you know? So that's the divine masculine to me. That's when you have a complete balance or on your way to having complete balance in your feminine and masculine energy. This is not about identity. This is not about what it needs to look like to be a man, to be successful. It's not about the looks anymore. You got us. Okay, I get it. You showed us what a man was. I get it. Big muscles, lots of money, lots of women. Okay. But when I sit down and have a conversation with a man, it's not about anything deep. It's not about anything intellectual. I don't feel like I want to advance my life. I feel like I'm backtracking. So what is it that men are bringing to the table now? We've always known that we had feelings and emotions that it's hard for us to express. We know that. So do it. You feel me? So do it. It's hard being a man when I can't express my emotions. Okay. Now that you said it, what do you want to do? You either want to express your emotions or you don't. It's not rocket science anymore. This is self-mastery. This is you knowing yourself enough so that no one else can tell you how to be or do or live your life. Because if being masculine and being tough is what it's all about for you, then go for it. Go for it. That doesn't mean just understand that every man is not making that decision. And you cannot force another man or another person to make a decision for your life. You can't make me live my life for you. That's a choice. And yes, I chose that. Some of it was out of ignorance, some of it was just out of pure compassion. So I know I've given my life for others. I'm proud of that. I'm very proud of that. I will never be ashamed of giving my 100% to any situation, even when it came to love, even if it ended in divorce or breakup. I still gave 100%. That's something to be proud of. That's the success. That's the goal. Can I give 100% to this thing or to this person that I am a part of? Can I do that? That's all it takes. Like, did you give 100%? Did you absolutely give your best? If you gave your best, then let it rest. Period. If you gave your best, let it rest. Seriously. That's what I found out. I gave it my best. And now I'm gonna just let it rest. Because it's all a test. So don't stress. You will be blessed, nevertheless. Nevertheless. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna get off of here, man. This live and again, man, this is just waking up to the reality that I can live my life, you know, that I can actually help people through demonstration of the things that I have came through in my life. And to look at this scenery right here with a calm nervous system, that quiet ache that comes up. The quiet ache is what I call when you're like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, you're restless and you can't sleep, and all you're doing is thinking about the next thing. That's the quiet ache. It slowly builds up until you cannot take it anymore. But with a calm nervous system, with a stressless life, a man can achieve anything. And we've just never seen that. That's all. That's all. At least for me, I just never seen uh consistency in that area. I'll say that because I have met some divine masculine men. I have met some men who were completely balanced in their feminine and masculine energies, and they took care of business, and they took care of home, and they took care of their loved ones, and it was a beautiful thing to see. So those are the men that I admire. And even in my book, Mentors, Hegemonic Masculinity, that's available on Amazon, I talk about my four mentors. My Bishop Carlton Pearson, Reverend Bishop Miles Monroe, Reverend Ike, and Muji. Those are the four African American men that have helped catapult my personal development journey, my spiritual journey. And that's why I wrote about them. You guys can look me up on Amazon, Dr. Eman'on F. Wanderer. And just support, man. If you like reading, and if you're into knowledge, and especially knowledge of self, I got a book called Gnosis, Knosis, and it's on Amazon. And it's my history. It's my foundation. I decided to, if I'm an architect, right? If I'm a leader and I'm a founder of something and I'm an architect of something, well, I'm the only one who knows me. So I have to introduce myself to the rest of the world. Because otherwise, you guys will make up stories and believe the story in your mind about me versus the actual facts. And that's what I believe in. I absolutely believe in expressing the facts, you know? So that's why I wrote that book, Gnosis of Eman'on, so that you guys can learn my history, my foundation, why I believe the way I believe, how I came to believe in the way I believe. And then that way, if we continue to rock and roll together, you can continue to follow me. But this video is about, again, it's about Men Heal. So go to menheal.org, and I will be rearranging the website because what I learned is that it's not very user friendly. If a man logged on to menheal.org right now, they may be confused because I use the terminology that only I and a couple of guys that I've been working with use. You know what I mean? Like going to the dojo. What is the dojo? What is the shift when it comes to mindset? What is the dojo when it comes to practices and professionalism? What are these terms? What is the quiet ache? What is radical objectivity? What is radical transparency? What is radical accountability. These are all terms, man, that I'm introducing to the world. That I'm not saying that they're new terms, but they're all terms that I'm introducing to the world through my philosophy and practices. Just like you have all these techniques and evidence-based techniques when it comes to mental health and healing and things like that. I too have a technique and I too have programs that I put together from lived experience, y'all. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is lived experience. This is like, it's not something that I read in a book and wrote down and is telling to you. This is something that I experienced. I went through divorce. I tried to get help. I had little to no resources. All I had was the ability to go within. All I knew was what mama always told me is that God will provide. That's the only thing I had to hang on, y'all. I reached out. I tried to go through the programs, through the systems, through the friends, through the families. Nothing. I tell you, nothing was consistent. Everything had its steps. I wanted something consistent. What's going to be with me through this healing that I don't have to purchase, that I don't have to pretend to like and be friends with them, to like them for them to help me. What can I grab onto that can help me in this situation that that is not temporary? And it's not out there. The only thing is within. And that's how I came up with go within and you'll never go without. So when God showed me how to go within, I knew I would never have to go without ever again. And it just took a little bit of patience. I just looked at it as like planting a seed. Every seed takes time. Every seed takes a season to grow and to plant. And certain seeds take longer because of the root system. So I have a pretty strong root system now. So anyway, I'm getting off point. I'm gonna show you one more time, show you this beautiful scenery that I have right here. And I love you. Ain't nothing you could do about it. I appreciate y'all hanging in there for 21 minutes and 17 seconds. I'll holla. It's June 9th, the luckiest day of the year, June 9th, 2026, 6:25 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time, right here, Maui, Hawaii.